Hello comrades, you're watching RedIvanAirsoft, and today we'll talk about all types of military boots used by US military personnel during the Vietnam War. And in the beginning I want to say thank you to Evgeny Chugunov and also the administration of the website vietnamgear.com for the pictures and materials for this video. I will attach some links in the description. Please check their Twitter, Instagram and the website. In the beginning of the Americano-Vietnamese phase of the conflict, and I'm talking about 1965 when US Marines landed in Da Nang, not about earlier time where we had advisors over there, or even more early time where we just supported French colonial troops with money. US Army and Marines wore black leather boots. US Marines had so-called M1951 boots, which were introduced during the Korean War. The upper part of the boots was equipped with lace hooks. The boots also had reinforced backstay with the loop on top. US Army also used black leather boots, but slightly different model. United States, as well as Russia, for some reason do not have any specific model names for their combat boots, and usually you see on them something like black combat leather boots or combat black leather boots, etc. But these boots, also known as M1962 or McNamara boots. These boots have stitched and nailed leather diamond sole, which rotted quickly in the tropical climate. That's why a new model of these boots with rubber direct molded sole was introduced in 1967. And as I found out on the vietnamgear.com, these boots were in production since 1964, which is so interesting. So guys, just go visit this website, Instagram and Twitter to see some more cool facts. And I will share another interesting fact right now. These boots were the basis for the IDF military boots, and by the way, I have the review of these boots on my channel as well. They were almost completely replaced in all infantry units in around 1966, but the rear troops still use them. Pilots and the armored vehicle crews loved this model for its extra protection. Basically, M1962 boots were the further development of M1948 rusted boots, which could also be found in Vietnam during the advisors era. So as you already know, during the advisors era, the main standard issue boots were black leather boots, but of course there were some trials of some experimental models, and also professionals always were looking for some nicer boots which better fit to the Vietnamese humid jungle environment. The most famous example of such boots was M1945, so-called Okinawa boots. These tropical boots were developed in the end of the Second World War and were abandoned all the way till the beginning of the Vietnam. Basically, these boots are the tropical modification or adaptation, I would say, of the M1943 boots. But conceptually it was the further development of the tropical boots M1942. Also, advisors used miscellaneous models of the South Vietnamese tropical boots, which were copies of the French tropical boots, which were based on the American M1942 tropical boots. So it's like a circle of the tropical boots development. As I know, some paratroopers and special force operators privately purchased Corcoran jump boots. In 1965, jungle boots were officially adopted, and there were several types of them. Jungle boots type 1 were made of leather in the bottom and of canvas in the color OG107 in the top. They had Vibram direct molded sole, top stay and the back stay were reinforced with leather. As described on the vietnamgear.com, jungle boots in the first pattern were issued to the troops in South Asia in 1960. But the earliest model I have ever seen was produced in 1962. Now you see jungle boots type 2. These boots were introduced in 1964 and they had all features of the first type except top stay and the back stay were now reinforced with nylon. And we came all the way to the third type of the jungle boots. This boot has all features of the second type. It has Vibram direct molded sole, canvas top, leather button, and nylon reinforcement, but on top of that it also has additional reinforcements on the both sides. This type of boots was produced since 1965 all the way till 1968, and also in 1966 another feature was added to it. It was spike protective insert. This was a metal insert that was meant to protect user from Vietnamese boogie traps. Boots with this insert have markings spike protective on them. Let's move to the next model, and this is actually the last model of the Vietnam era jungle boots. This is type 3 boot with Panama sole. So everything is identical to the regular type 3 other than the sole. The sole is new. This boot was developed in 1966. Production began in 1967. For some time these boots were produced side by side, and since 1969 this was the only boot that left in production. However, jungle boot type 3 with Vibram sole remained the dominant one all the way till the end of the Vietnam War. Another interesting thing is that this boot is the post-war boot, and there were some rumors that jungle boots made during the Vietnam War should have small stitching on the back over here, while post-war boots do not have it. However, there were some companies which were producing the jungle boots without this stitching during the Vietnam War, I would say 1969, 1970 and up. And in the same time there were some companies which were producing these boots with stitching even after the war. And now, as a cherry on this pie, we will discuss some additional experimental models of the jungle boots which were used during the Vietnam War. First one is a jungle boot model for special forces with Vietnamese foot sole. These boots were made for unconventional troops, so they won't leave their footprint somewhere they're not supposed to walk. Zipper lace eyelets insert. These inserts were popular with pilots and armored vehicle crew members. Guess why? Because jungle boots burn fast. But also there are some pictures of these inserts used by the infantrymen. Next model is the experimental jungle boots with lace hooks. I can bet they were made for Marines. And the last but not least, the mesh jungle boots. These boots were trialed by 9th Infantry Division during the Operation Safe Step. Thank you for watching, guys. If you are interested, I already have a video about LURP Ranger uniforms and equipment on this channel, and in that video we also discussed differences between M1956, M1956 modification of 1961st and M1967 patterns of waving gear. So if you are interested in such topics, please watch that video. Soon we'll have videos about helmets and uniforms. So put like, subscribe to this channel, and see you soon. Bye bye.